Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on configuring the tax settings in ManuDyn Cloud 9. Let's begin by logging into the system. If this is the first time your system has been configured, a configuration wizard will be displayed. The first item on the list is to configure the tax settings for the system. To do so, click on this link, or if you don't see the wizard, go to the System Settings menu group and click the Tax Settings menu item. The tax settings page is similar to other data entry screens in ManuDyn in that there is a blue toolbar at the top of the content area where we can enter the record that we wish to work with. In the field located in the blue toolbar, we need to enter the tax group ID that we will use for the calculation of sales or value added tax in the system. In my case, I will enter NY Westchester as the tax group ID and then press the Tab key to move into the Data Entry tab. The system has loaded in the details for the entered tax group ID. If we have entered a new record, the Details tab will be empty. Type the descriptive name for this tax group and tick the Delivery Charges are Taxable box if it applies to your tax group. Click on an empty row in the tax code grid for either the sales or purchases categories, depending on where the tax is to be applied. Then enter the tax code details that belong to this tax group. Each tax group must have at least one tax code. My first code is NY State, to which I will add the name NY State Sales Tax and a tax rate of 4%. I can also assign a company code that I collect my tax for and a general ledger account code, but my external accounting system will be handling these so they can be left blank. Once the tax code details have been entered, click the OK button to return to the Tax Group Details tab. In my example, I'm going to associate the tax group with two tax codes, so I will click on the empty row in the tax code grid to start entering my next tax code. My next code is Westchester, to which I will add the name Westchester County Sales Tax and a tax rate of 3.375%. Once the tax code details have been entered, click the OK button to return to the Tax Group Details tab. I have now finished entering this tax group, and I can save this record by clicking on the Save icon in the blue toolbar, or I can save and close the record by clicking the OK button at the bottom of the tab. You will note that there is separate tax set up for sales and purchases. If your tax jurisdiction has value added taxes on sales and purchases, then you will need to set a tax code ID for each. For example, let's create a tax group ID for the Australian Goods and Services Tax. In this case, I will enter GST as the tax group ID and then press the Tab key to move into the Data Entry tab. Type in the descriptive name for this tax group and have the Delivery Charges are Taxable box ticked as it applies to our tax group. Click on an empty row in the tax code grid for the sales category. Then enter the tax code details that belong to this tax group. This tax code is going to be called GST Sales, to which I will add the name GST on Sales and a tax rate of 10%. Once these tax code details have been entered, click the OK button to return to the Tax Group Details tab. Next, click on an empty row in the tax code grid for the Purchases category. Then enter the tax code details that belong to this tax group. This tax code is going to be called GST Purchases, to which I will add the name GST on Purchases and a tax rate of 10%. Once the tax code details have been entered, click the OK button to return to the Tax Group Details tab, and then select the OK button at the bottom of the tab to save this tax group. If you need to enter additional tax groups, you can do so now by repeating the same procedure. Once you are finished, you can return to the home page by clicking the Home icon at the top of the screen or by clicking on the Exit button in the toolbar. In the next video tutorial, we will complete the system configuration. Click on the link to start the next video.